What's up, NFL fans? If you didn't hear the news, Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer. This was his first year of eligibility, and he did not make it in by one vote, I believe. And I honestly wasn't going to make a video about this news. That's why this video is coming out a little late for when the news broke. Partly because I didn't think it was that big of a story, and partly because I actually made a video similar to this 2 years ago when I said Tom Brady is not a Hall of Famer. And at the end of that video, I concluded Bill Belichick also should not be a Hall of Famer. Uh, and let me be clear, I think Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time. I know I give Tom Brady a lot of flack and I say he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. I stand by that. I would say, gun to my head, I have a football team and I need a coach to go win, I would put Bill Belichick in there over anyone else. I think Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time. I really do mean that. But I also don't think he's a Hall of Famer. And the big bugaboo for me is that he is a cheater. I said it 2 years ago about Tom Brady. I ended that video talking about Bill Belichick, and I still think it's true. I'm honestly surprised that the Hall of Fame committee did this, and I say good for the Hall of Fame committee. The reason I'm making this video is because of the reaction from the media. This story blew up. It became a big story, not just in the NFL world, but in all sports world. And I really want to applaud the people who didn't vote for him because I agree. I said it 2 years ago. You can look back at my stuff. I said this 2 years ago. Bill Belichick doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He is a cheater. I said this in my Tom Brady video. I'm not trying to take away Bill Belichick's 8 Super Bowl rings. I'm not trying to take away his 6 Super Bowl rings. I'm not trying to take away the millions of dollars he made off of being, like I said, the greatest head coach of all time. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm not trying to take away his wins. All I'm saying is that he doesn't deserve to this symbolic thing. The Hall of Fame is purely symbolic. It's a celebration of the sport, and Bill Belichick disrespected the sport when he cheated. And that's the fact, right? And once again, just like I said in my Tom Brady video, the NFL agrees with me. We can all talk about, and I will listen to the arguments, frankly, that well, everyone did Spygate. Bill Belichick's just the one that got caught. It's not fair to pin it all on him. I'm willing to hear that argument out, but the NFL punished Bill Belichick. The NFL said, no, Bill Belichick and the Patriots, what you guys did was cheating. You need to be punished. If the NFL wants to go back and say, actually, those punishments are wrong, everyone was doing it, so it doesn't make any sense to pin it on one guy, I can hear that argument. I think that argument makes a heck of a lot more sense. But that's not the world we live in. The NFL punished Bill Belichick. The NFL punished the Patriots, and he is forever going to be a cheater. Those first 3 Super Bowl rings are always going to have an asterisk, and I'm not trying to take those away, right? And lots of people are saying, well, let's take those away. Let's take those 3 Super Bowl rings away. He still has 3 more Super Bowl rings, and he was a great defensive coordinator, winning 2 Super Bowl rings as a defensive coordinator. And, once again, that resume is a Hall of Fame resume, but he's still a cheater, and I don't care if his cheating, I said this in the Tom Brady video, I don't care if his cheating affected only a certain part of his career. He is still a cheater, and that's that. And no matter what it affected, you disrespected the game. Your tiny little punishment is you don't get to be in the Hall of Fame. And frankly, Bill Belichick's tiny little punishment is he doesn't get to be in the Hall of Fame for one extra year. That's all, right? He lost by one vote. One of those guys is going to flip next year because this story is so huge. People are saying it makes a mockery of the Hall of Fame, and everyone is clowning on this. So someone is going to feel the pressure. One of those 11 guys is going to feel the pressure, and they're going to vote for him next year, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? So his tiny little punishment for cheating, for disrespecting the game, isn't that he doesn't even get to be a Hall of Famer. It's that he doesn't get to be a Hall of Famer for one extra year, which is so tiny. That's such a tiny little punishment. And people are saying it's way too harsh. The Hall of Fame is a joke. This is stupid. The Hall of Fame just made themselves stupid. And I completely disagree. I think what the Hall of Fame did, what the Hall of Fame committee did, is is correct and too soft, but fine, fine. I'll say fine. This is fine. Bill Belichick will forever be a Hall of Famer, but he will also forever be a guy who didn't get in the Hall of Fame for his first year, and that's because he cheated. It's simple as that. I don't know. I don't. I like I said. I don't think that this is the biggest story in the world. I don't think this is a story. It's crazy. The Super Bowl is literally in a week, and this is what people are talking about. I I think that's ridiculous. I think that it's such a small little tiny thing, and I'm surprised there were lots of media reactions. And of course, the Boston fans and the Patriots fans are going to be super angry about this. And honestly, as a fan, I get it. Right? If I was a Patriots fan, I would be upset too, and I understand that. But I'm not surprised by all the Patriots fans being upset. That honestly, once again, to be real for a second, as a fan, that of course makes sense. But I am shocked about the wider NFL media and the wider sports media really thinking that this is a crazy thing. I really think it's such a tiny little thing. In my ideal world, they would actually go further, but you know, he's going to be a Hall of Famer next year, and that's that. I really don't think this is a big story. I'm sure I'll hear about how I'm so wrong in the comments below. So let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.